Hello everyone, it's Sandra and welcome to today's video. It's going to be all about my thoughts and feelings regarding the new Chanel Water Fresh Touch. Now I knew this product was coming and I was feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness because initially one of my friends who is a content creator, she had gone to a Chanel beauty event in London in May, and at the event she was told that this product would be replacing the Chanel Water Fresh Tint. But it has since been confirmed that it is not being replaced. This is merely an addition to the Chanel Libre Water Fresh range. So if you are a fan of the original Chanel Water Fresh Tint, it's not going anywhere, it's staying a part of the range, and this new product is just another product in the range. They launched this, and then they also launched the Water Fresh blushes, and we can all live all together happily ever after. Now, I did not buy any of the blushes. I wasn't really interested in the blushes, to be honest. I'm just happy with my current blush situation, and given how long it takes me to actually use up a blush, I'm sitting this one out. The main focus of this video is going to be the Water Fresh Touch. I'm going to show you how I like to apply it to my face, going to talk you through my experience using the product. I've been using this for about a week now, and give you my comparison notes regarding the Water Fresh Touch versus the Water Fresh Tint. So let's start with the shades first. The shades are different. The Water Fresh Tint came in, I believe, 8 shades, and I use the shade medium in this product. It's very sheer, like barely there. I will link a video in which I demonstrate this on my skin so you get an idea. It's barely there. I wouldn't even consider this a light coverage product because there isn't really any coverage. It's just a tint, just a hint of something, which is what makes this so special. This product definitely has more coverage. I think the statistics from Chanel.com is that this product contains 3 times more pigment than this, and maybe that's why they justified giving us less product, because while these two products cost the same, this product has 10 milliliters less. So they both cost, in the US, they're $65. This has 30 milliliters of product. This has 20 milliliters of product. So you're paying the same price, but you're getting less product. This product, they're saying that it can be used, you can use it strategically in some areas, or you can use it all over, depending on your skin situation, depending on, what you want to cover, what look you're going for. It's not a concealer. This is still like a very light to slightly medium coverage type of product. I guess I'll just start applying it while I talk about the coverage so you know what I'm talking about. And the shades. I bought this in the shade B30. So because this is a product with more coverage, they changed the naming convention, so you're not getting like the light, medium, whatever that you got with this. You're now getting the same naming convention that you get with the other Chanel foundations. And I haven't been really on the Chanel bandwagon for a while, but when I used to use the Chanel Vitalumiere Aqua Foundation, I used to use that in shade B30. So that kind of guided my decision, and I think it's a really good match. So if you are around the same shades of foundations that I am, and you use this in medium, this B30 would be a good match. So here's the product on one half of my face versus this half of my face, which has nothing. Still, on my skin with my concerns, I've got some redness, I've got some hyperpigmentation, I'm acne prone, sometimes I have breakouts. On me, I would quantify this as a light to medium, slightly medium, like a light coverage, light to medium coverage product. I think if you have less skin concerns, like Katie Jane Hughes, I think when she was reviewing it on her Instagram, she said that it can even be like full coverage. On me, this would never be a full coverage product, but if you're somebody that doesn't have a lot of things to cover up, you might put this on and it might be all the coverage that you need. Coverage is kind of like a fluid thing, right? Because not all of us have the same concerns, not all of us have the same coverage needs in terms of what we want to cover up and what there is to cover up on our faces. Definitely more coverage than the Chanel water tint. I would put this in the same category as my tinted moisturizers or a light coverage foundation. Like very much on par with the result that I would get from the NARS Radiant Tinted Moisturizer, for example. It has a beautiful radiance to it. It's got that same like fresh and light, slightly cooling feeling on the skin that you get when you apply the Chanel Water Fresh tint, but obviously you get more coverage. And I do like to apply this with fingers. It does come with a little brush. So this is the brush that the Chanel Water Fresh Touch comes with. This is the brush that the Chanel Water Fresh tint comes with. So you see here the brush shapes are slightly different. This is like a flat top angled situation. This is more of a tapered kind of dome. And the justification behind it is that, you know, if you do want to use this product just selectively in some areas, almost like like a spot concealer, you can use this brush. And I find this brush, like this little brush, does come in handy. You know, the first time I used it, the first time I used the product, I did try this brush to do a little spot concealing action, and it does do a good job. But I still like the brush. I still find it to be like an unnecessary addition. Not only are you paying for it, because obviously the cost of the brush is factored into the cost of the product, but also it's wasteful, because if you are a big fan of the product and you're going to repurchase it in the future, you're buying the brush over and over and over again. So you're going to have this buildup of these little brushes, which is wasteful, in my opinion. I wish that there was either no brush added and maybe, you know, we got a little discount in the price, or, you know, make the brush optional. Anyway, you get these little brushes. I still prefer applying this product with my finger, but it also works really well with my favorite foundation brush, the BK Beauty one. So choose your poison, essentially. My favorite method of application with the original Water Fresh tint was also fingers. They do have slightly different consistencies because, you know, obviously the Chanel water tint has more water content, so it's going to be more watery, versus the Chanel Water Fresh Touch, which has less water content, more pigment. You see it's traveling down my hand a lot slower. Here are the tones kind of blended out. Medium, the medium Water Fresh tint is a little bit warmer than the B30 of the Water Fresh Touch. Let's do the other half of the face with another pump. So for me personally, 1.5 to 2 pumps is what I need to get an even distribution of product on my face. It blends out very easily. Like, it's just as easy to blend, and the feeling on the skin is just like with the Water Fresh tint. Like, it's a great everyday level of coverage for me, because then from this I can just go in with my concealer and then I'm good to go. And it's not greasy. The glow that you get from both of these products, which is why I'm such a fan of it, is that even if you have more combination oily skin, it's just a very fresh glow, and it doesn't make you more greasy throughout the day. It's just this very flattering level of glow, and you know, it's not a long wearing product. It's not, you know, they don't claim that it's like a 12-hour, 24-hour wear. It's not going to keep you matte, but it does still wear nicely for a glowy product on my skin. And this particular range, and why I was so in love with the Water Fresh tint to begin with, is that it's one of the very few glowy products that doesn't make me look more greasy, that doesn't tend to like aggravate my oil production in any way, because it's a water-based product, right? And both of these are still water-based products. There's no additional oil. Like, the shine is from just like the hydration. It's not from extra oils put into the product. So I love it. Really nice, really, really fresh. Then, you know, to finish off the face, I can just add my concealer, usually under my eyes, and then if I have any persistent blemishes, just doing a little bit of NARS concealer on areas where I want a bit more coverage. It layers really nicely with other makeup. I haven't had any issues with it layering badly under my skincare either. But you know, that's going to be different for everybody because we're not all using the same skincare products, right? But for me, I have not had any issues, any pilling or flaking or anything like that. All right, so I just did my eyebrows and a quick little wash of shadow off camera. Now let's talk setting and longevity. I do have to set it with powder, very much like with the Chanel Water Fresh Tint, at least down in the T-zone, especially during summer. I have combination oily skin, and under my eyes I have to set all the time anyway, so I'm just using my usual products here. A little bit of the Givenchy loose powder under the eyes to make sure that my concealer stays in place. And on my face, I'm using the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra powder. Just a light dusting. I love this loose powder because even if you're, you know, it helps stuff it sets stuff in place and helps things look better for longer, but it never dulls down my skin. Like, it still leaves a little bit of a fresh glow shining through, but it sets the makeup in place. So everything is nice and set. Did a quick wash of bronzer and blush to finish things off. It really is a great everyday light to medium coverage. It looks really natural and really flattering and fresh on the skin. In terms of longevity, I find them to be very comparable. Like I mentioned before, it's not a long wearing product. You know, it doesn't claim to be. It's like a good 6 to 8 hours of wear. For me, I do have to start blotting at the 4-hour mark, you know, just a little bit down the T-zone. It is very, very hot here right now, which is good because I've been able to kind of test this during the peak heat. It's been about 30 to 35 degrees Celsius here, around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The humidity is also very high, so prime time for my oils to come through, prime time for sweating. And I do find the longevity of these products comparable. I start feeling the need to blot at around the 4-hour mark. Then I usually blot again at around the 6 to 7-hour mark. But just like with the Chanel water tint, even after blotting, the product still looks good underneath. The one tiny difference is when comparing the longevity and the way that these two products wear on the skin, because this product has more coverage, you will notice it fading more throughout the day. The Chanel Water Fresh Tint has such little coverage that you don't really notice it disappearing throughout the day because it didn't really have that much coverage to begin with. So it almost feels like this lasts longer on the skin because you don't notice it when it's leaving the skin because it's so sheer. Whereas with this product, since it has a more presence on the skin because it's more pigmented, you do notice it fading a bit throughout the day. Like if I look really close, you know, it looks more like makeup on the skin as opposed to this, because this is so sheer, you don't really have makeup on your skin. So just worth keeping in mind as we compare these two. I think if you have tried the Water Fresh Tint in the past, or if you have it right now, and you're always wishing for more coverage, like you don't like the way it just looks on its own on your skin, you always feel the need to add a foundation on top, or you always feel the need to use a lot of concealer, I think that this would be a really great alternative. I think that it would make a lot of sense to just get this, and this kind of would fit your needs better. Another important thing to note that I can't believe I didn't mention in the beginning of the video is that this is fragrance-free, which is really exciting because Chanel products are notorious for being really fragranced, especially their foundations and their skincare. And like the Water Fresh Tint, for example, has fragrance to it. But this does not, which is really exciting. And I hope that it's a sign of things to come from Chanel. I hope that Chanel will dabble in more fragrance-free products, especially base products. When it comes to me and my personal preferences, if I had to choose between these two products, I would still choose the Water Fresh Tint. I find the sheerness of this product to be what makes it so special and so unique. And if I want more coverage, I love mixing it with a little bit of foundation, especially with the Pat McGrath foundation. And these two combined give me very much the result that I get with this Water Fresh Touch, arguably a little bit better. So, you know, if you are, for example, if you're trying to kind of cut down your spending on makeup, but you're really curious about the Chanel Water Fresh Touch, but you have the Chanel Water Fresh Tint, and you want to kind of like scratch the itch, just mix this with a bit of foundation, and that's the vibe of the Water Fresh Touch, you know? With that being said, I don't regret getting this. I think it is a gorgeous product, and I do really, really like it. I just don't think that for me, it's like a must-have, star of the show type of product in the way that the Water Fresh Tint is. With the Water Fresh Touch, if I am judging this by itself as a standalone product, you know, I would definitely put it in the same category as the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer, or, you know, the Fenty Skin Tint, the Chantecaille Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer. They are very much kind of on the same level in terms of my complexion collection. And also, if I am judging it in the same category, you know, as my tinted moisturizers, I do also have to take into consideration how little product you get. You know, you have 20 milliliters of product for $65, as opposed to the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. They look very similar on my skin. They do a very similar thing on my skin. This product is more than double the product. You know what I mean? This is 50 milliliters of product, and then this is, you know, $65 for 20 milliliters. So all these things, you know, all these things kind of have different weights for all of us depending on what our foundation collection looks like, what our habits look like. If this was the only like tinted moisturizer type of product in my collection and I was using this daily, I'm probably going to use this up in like a month, because I do need, you know, 1.5 to 2 pumps of product if I want this all over my face. But if you're somebody that doesn't need a lot of coverage, you can probably just spot treat with this, and you're maybe just going to need 1 pump and just kind of dab it in the center of your face, blend it out, and then you're good to go. Then this might last you longer. I hope I covered everything. Like I said, I'm very excited about this product. I do really like it. I think that it is a good addition to the range. I do think it's worth a try, especially if you are a fan of luxury makeup, if you're a fan of Chanel beauty. I think that you will really like this. There's nothing really not to like about this product other than the fact that it's very expensive. You don't get that much. I have products that are expensive and you don't get that much that I am addicted to. I'm not judging, right? Get what your heart desires. I'm not telling you not to buy it, but if you're trying to save a bit of money, you're trying to talk yourself out of buying it, I'm giving you points to support your decision. It's not a must-have, it's a nice to have. If push came to shove, I would choose the Water Fresh Tint over this because I think this is more special, but this is still a beautiful complexion product. I am curious how it compares to the relatively new Chanel No. 1 foundation. That's a foundation that was launched earlier in the year. I've never personally tried that, but I know that it is a favorite. A lot of people are loving that foundation, and reading the description of that product, that sounds to do the same kind of thing that this does too. So if you've tried both, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts and feelings. Also, in terms of this compared to the Rose Inc Skin Tint, this has more coverage than that. So if you were to rank them in terms of coverage, the Water Fresh Tint is the least amount of coverage, then the Rose Inc is somewhere in the middle, and then there's the Water Fresh Touch with a bit more coverage. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.